mixture of public radio in the late 60s, 70s, 80s. No, I don't think so because he was morning. In the morning.
Yes, and in the morning, he was like,
Good morning.
Great.
Welcome to the First Religious Society, Unitarian Universalist in Newburyport, Massachusetts. My name is Doug Latham, and it is my pleasure to serve as your worship associate this morning. If you are joining us for the first time, welcome. We are glad you are here. We come together at FRS online and in person, committed to love, peace, and justice. Our mission and our invitation to all of you is to come as you are, journey together in love, act with courage, transform our world. If you are worshiping online and would like to access this morning's order of service, please click on the link just below the live stream. If you would like a large print order of service or hymnal, please ask an usher. They will be happy to assist you. I would like to draw your attention to the many activities and events happening here at the church. They're all listed in your order of service. Please join us today, right after church, for our Passion Action Fair. It will be outside in the courtyard in front of the church. Representatives from many ongoing church activities will be available to tell you more about what they do and how you can join in. This is a great opportunity to learn about all of the things going on at the church, and you might find an activity that is meant for you. I feel the spirit of interconnectedness myself. My personal experience has been that participating in an activity that appeals to you will vastly expand your connectedness to the folks in the pews around you on Sunday morning. Thank you. It is good to be together.
Our call to worship this morning is by John Kabat-Zinn. It's called Tasting Mindfulness. Have you ever had the experience of stopping so completely, of being in your body so completely, of being in your life so completely, that when you knew and what you didn't know, that when you had been and what is yet to come, was the way things are right now, no longer held in the slightest hint of anxiety or discord? It would be a moment of complete presence, beyond striving, beyond mere acceptance, beyond the desire to escape or fix anything or plunge ahead. A moment of pure being, no longer in time, a moment of pure seeing, pure feeling, a moment in which life simply is, and that isness grabs you by all your senses, all your memories, and by all your genes, by your loved ones, and welcomes you home. Please rise in body or spirit, in spirit, and join in singing our opening hymn, number 1002 in the Teal hymnal, Comfort Me. Our chalice lighting this morning will be supported by the AIM group represented here today. Joanne, please sit. Thank you. Please join in saying our chalice lighting words as Lee Pearson reads them, and Lance Heidi's, who I don't see, here he comes, I think, will be standing behind the chalice with Joanne. Is that you, Lance? Come on up. Yes. Thank you.
We gather this hour as people of faith, with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning, in celebration of the life we share together.
Each week, we also light 2 candles of peace representing 2 places on earth we lift up and remember as a sacred encounter with our world. There are an untold number of places on earth that need peace. These 2 we especially hold close in this service and through the week ahead. After each candle is lit, I will invite you to respond saying, peace, sul, shalom. Our first candle is lit for the city of Newburyport, where this morning the Jeannie Geiger Crisis Center walk against domestic violence is taking place. Members of FRS are again walking this year. We pray for the continued success of the Jeannie Geiger Center in supporting the survivors of domestic violence. To this we respond, peace, sul, shalom. Our second candle is lit for the United States, where 1 in 5 adults and 1 in 6 youth are experiencing a mental health disorder, which is often a common byproduct of living with other forms of disability. We pray for healing and relief for those with these diagnoses as they travel their personal journey in finding appropriate health care. May their family, friends, and community listen and ask the right questions in order to support them on their journey. To this we respond, peace, sul, shalom. Please rise in body or spirit as we join our voices in our affirmation of faith, followed by the doxology. The words can be found in your order of service. After the doxology, all of the children are invited to join Mara Flynn downstairs for Young Church. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest of truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve humankind, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with each other and with God. Please be seated.
The generosity of our community is an essential ministry that supports the work of the church, both in Newburyport and beyond. Each week, 50% of the Sunday offering not designated as a pledge goes to a local community partner engaged in important efforts to transform our region. The October shared collection goes to support the Greater Newbury Pet Fund, serving Newburyport, West Newbury, Amesbury, Salisbury, and Rowley. The fund works closely with area councils on aging to identify elders in need, then collects and distributes pet food and financial donations. 100% of the donations go to our elders and their pets. Imagine the pain of having to surrender a pet, a best friend, because you couldn't afford food or veterinary care. That's just not right. Please support our deserving senior neighbors and their loving pets. To give online, please use the link in your order of service or below the live stream. You can also make a contribution by text, and of course, you can always mail a check to the church. Thank you. The offering will now be gratefully received.
Each week, we lift up the joys and sorrows of our beloved faith community. Linda Harding, our pastoral care associate, will light the candles as I read what has been shared with me in advance of today's service. If you would like to share a joy or sorrow to be read in the service, you can always send an email to betweenus@frsuu.org or write in this book located in the vestibule. We light a candle of joy for our Unitarian Universalist faith as Reverend Rebecca joins the First Unitarian Universalist Church of Richmond, Virginia this morning to participate in the installation of Reverend Sherman Z. Logan as senior member of that congregation. This is a joyous celebration of a long path our fellow congregationist has taken. We light a candle of joy for Nancy Crochet, who is thrilled to share that she now has a third grandson. Sebastian Charles Cantor was born on September 24th to Nancy and Paul's older daughter, Danielle, who grew up in this church and sang in the young church choir. Mother and baby are doing well, and older brothers Henry and Will are excited and puzzled, respectively. Amy Tuckert allows that you keep her sister, Becca McGowan, in your thoughts and prayers, as Becca is dealing with an autoimmune disease called scleroderma. She was admitted to Mass General Hospital this past week, and as much as she is a stoic superstar, this has been a particularly challenging week. We also wish Becca a happy birthday today on Sunday, October 1st. Joanna Fernandez asks us to light a candle of joy for our Crossing Paths youth who completed their initial exploration of Unitarian Universalists last week with a service at the First Church Boston, quite literally the first church in Boston, and a stop at the Arlington Street Church, also known as the Cathedral of Unitarian Universalism because of its cathedral-like architecture. Having fun, getting caught in the rain, and commuting on the train also light added to their experience. So many today. Under the joys and sorrows this morning, a friend of the church, Madeline, is starting a new journey in France. And I hope we can send positivity and courage her way. We honor Lee Pearson, who is happily celebrating her birthday today, the beginning of her 73rd year in this place of love. Happy birthday, Lee. Please keep Jim and Nancy Kidd in your thoughts and prayers as Jim is experiencing some medical challenges. We light a joy of concern and care for Alan Murgida, Helen's brother-in-law, as he begins chemotherapy this week for a cancerous tumor at the base of his skull, which has invaded his lymph nodes. We ask for relief from his pain and comfort. We light one final candle for all those joys and sorrows, though unsaid, are held in just as much love and care in our hearts. For our pastoral care today, I'd like to take you through a very brief guided meditation. Please close your eyes, take 3 deep breaths in and out, and just reflect on these words. Remember, these things don't define you. Your mistakes, your problems, your illness or disability your thoughts. Remember, these things actually do define you. Your experiences, your perspective, your personality, your creativity, your goals, your hobbies and your passions, your attitude, your habits. May you be lightened like a breeze right in the middle of everything. May you be able to live the only way the universe intends, one day at a time. May you be reminded that wherever you are there entirely. That when your heart is open, you can hear the wisdom of your soul. The adult choir will now sing Bright Morning Star.
Some are down in the valley.
This morning's reading comes from the Book of Awakening, Having the Life You Want by Being Present to the Life You Have, by Mark Nepo. Every crack is also an opening. When in the midst of great change, it is helpful to remember how a chick is born. From the view of a chick, it is a terrifying struggle. Confined and curled in a dark shell, half formed, the chick eats all its food and stretches to the contours of its shell. It begins to feel hungry and cramped. Eventually, the chick begins to starve and feels suffocated by the ever-shrinking space of its world. Finally, its own growth begins to crack the shell, and the world as the chick knows it is coming to an end. Its sky is falling. As the chick wriggles through the cracks, it begins to eat its shell. In that moment, growing but frail, starved and cramped, its world breaking, the chick must feel like it is dying. Yet once everything it has relied on falls away, the chick is born. It doesn't die, but falls into the world. The lesson is profound. Transformation always involves the falling away of things we have relied on, and we are left with a feeling that the world as we know it is coming to an end. Because it is. Yet the chick offers us the wisdom that the way to be born while still alive is to eat our own shell. When faced with great change, in self, in relationship, in our sense of calling, we somehow must take in all that has enclosed us, nurtured us, incubated us, so when the new life is upon us, the old is within us.
Thank you, Doug. Thank you, choir. Good morning again. I am so delighted to be with you in person and through Zoom. On behalf of our Accessibility and Inclusion Ministry, AIM. I began my yearly service on AIM topics in 2020. And this is my 5th sermon, today entitled Mindfulness, Ways to Navigate Life Transitions. Working with all of you for the past 5 years has been a joy. Our AIM initiatives to make our church even more welcoming, accessible, and inclusive for all who enter our doors continues. I come to you today grateful, clear of mind, and with a gentle heart. I ask you to consider these questions from your own personal perspective. How do you manage change, transition, transformation? How do you engage in mindfulness? What does ageism and ableism mean to you? How are these all connected? Heraclitus, the 6th century BCE Greek philosopher, states, "The only thing that is constant is change." Change is the event, a moment in time which automatically shifts you into transition. Transition is the process that unfolds before, during, and after the change event. Transition leads to transformation or new beginnings. It does inevitably lead to new beginnings, be they positive, negative, or neutral. I frequently lament to my family and friends that I hate change. For me, it is easier to witness change in other people with concern and compassion, but not so easy for me to go through it. Intellectually, I know that we are hardwired to resist change. The amygdala interprets change as a threat and releases the hormones for fear, fight, or flight. It is the body's defense mechanism. The last few years, my changes have included the death of my beloved husband and of members of my family and friends. The reality of retiring from my work in the field of education of students with different needs and abilities. Realizing that parts of my body are performing differently, downsizing and moving. Not atypical changes for a woman my age. I know that retiring this June will open up more time for my ministerial work here at FRS, especially for AIM, and will give me more time to serve as an interfaith chaplain in Greater Newburyport. I will enjoy more leisure time and travel, and I'll try to engage in more exercise. I am open to new possibilities. The author and organizational consultant William Bridges experienced change and transition up close and personal as he had Lewy body dementia, which is characterized by problems with thinking, movement, behavior, and mood. He tells us change is something that happens to people even if they don't agree with it. We resist transition not because we can't accept the change, because we can't accept letting go of that piece of ourselves that we have to give up when and because the situation has changed. Bridges continues, transition affects us on physical, emotional, and psychological levels. Transition is gradual, and we experience transition in so many different ways. Some, such as moving into a new home, leaving a job, taking a new job, getting married, becoming a parent, grandparent, leaving your baby or grandbaby at daycare, then preschool, elementary school, high school, college, military service, getting divorced, downsizing, moving to assisted living, experiencing a change in health status. A loved one or yourself shifts gender identity or is transitioning their sex identification. Being fired or getting a promotion. Retiring. Becoming caregivers. Aging with new health concerns. This is all very hard. the hardest being the death of loved ones. And they're just a few. When you have experienced a change and are navigating transition, other changes jump right in. It's never a single event. Unless transition happens, the change won't work. Many of us traveled this summer and experienced a delayed or canceled flight, which is an external change, something beyond our control. Our transition to this inconvenience is our internal process of emotionally dealing with this change. I watched people screaming at the people at the check-in counter like it was their fault, and they could and must get them on a plane immediately. The "don't you know who I am" people. Others just put on earphones, used iPads, slept, tried to settle babies and toddlers. For me, I got a very large cup of coffee and read my Kindle. Change and transition is followed by transformation. Bridges says that transformation is a fundamental change of state, the passing from one way of process through which individuals and groups reorient themselves so that they can function and find meaning in a changed situation. Transformation is the new beginning. Transformation after a crisis is when something you've grown used to or addicted to or depend on is taken away. You can either stay bitter and depressed or be transformed. Mindfulness means the conscious development of your self-awareness and observation of your surroundings in the present moment. During change, mindfulness allows you to recognize and acknowledge your emotions without judgment. Stay focused and flexible in the present moment without clinging or resisting, and cultivate compassion and empathy for yourself and others without blaming or criticizing. I'm still learning that I cannot force things to change or happen, but boy, I still try. I practice my mindfulness by engaging in compassionate work that connects me to others. I have done this during my work career, ministerial work here at FRS, and elsewhere. I know that compassionate actions make me feel good, whether it be towards family, friends, strangers, and certainly to you, my beloved FRS community. You are mindfully compassionate people. I am in awe of the compassionate work that you all participate in. A mindful mindset fosters interconnectedness. We engage with our lives and with a deeper commitment to each other. And Joanne Kincaid, she knows I am sharing this, inspired me when she offered the word interconnectedness. Knowing and accepting ourselves through our mindfulness practices. Interconnectedness. Wow. Mindfulness is based on the Tibetan Zen Buddhism practice of meditation. It was adapted from modern psychology and integrated into therapy in the West by two leading proponents in the development of what we understand as mindfulness. The Zen Buddhist and godfather of mindfulness in the West, Thich Nhat Hanh, tells us this about mindfulness. The most precious gift we can give and offer anyone is our attention. When mindfulness embraces those we love, they will bloom like flowers. I love the beauty and simplicity of this profound definition. John Kabat-Zinn, Professor Emeritus at UMass Medical Center and School, offers this definition of mindfulness. He says it's the awareness that arises through paying attention in a particular way, on purpose, in the present moment, and non-judgmentally. This also works for me. When I slip into my mindfulness state, I find the use of mantras very helpful. I am often in my car and in traffic, and I chant mantras that I make up in the Gregorian chant mode. No, I do not chant in Latin. I breathe a while and just allow the words that I need to chant come to me. Meditation is less approachable for me as I cannot easily quiet my brain and haven't practiced enough to do so. I do love group silent meditation and guided meditations, especially at retreats. As we age, change and transition occurs at a faster pace. We experience insecurities about financial security, personal security, safety, health care, health challenges, mental health, and maintaining our independence. We are all amazingly capable people. We live active lives, drive ourselves everywhere, don't ever take my license away. However, some people, including myself, need a bit more help and care in certain areas. For me, my son Matthew knows, I need all the help I can get to keep up with technology demands. It is a curse and a blessing. An analysis of the history of technology shows that technological change is exponential, contrary to the common sense, intuitive, linear view. So we won't experience 100 years of change and progress in the 21st century. It will be more like 20,000 years of progress at today's rate. I'm happy to be part of that. Let's look at change and ableism. We know that change occurs at every age during our lifetime. Let's look at the aging and change and the complication that the process comes as the result of conflicting with ageism, which is the prejudice or discrimination against people based on their age. There are common stereotypical ageism descriptors for all of us, some nice, some not so nice. You can raise your hand if you choose when we come to your age group. The greatest generation, the traditionalist, born 1925 to 45, is responsible, patriotic, hardworking, cheap or frugal. Baby boomers, born between 1946 and 1964, are self-assured, competitive, entitled, ruining the economy. Oops. Gen Xers, born between 1965 to 1980, resilient, latchkey kids, slackers, cynical. Millennials, born 1981 to 2000, adaptable, tech-savvy, entitled, rude. Justin's waving. Gen Zers, born 2001 to 2020, self-reliant, pragmatic, phone and internet zombies. Generation Alpha, the children that we have sent downstairs with Mara, born between 2011 up until 2025. Mini millennials are the first generation to fully grow up in a fully digitalized world. This is our generation that will populate Mars and the Moon. Even though these stereotypes are frequently called into question, they linger into the mind, fed by media, politicians, and personal experience. We often focus on ageism as it applies to us older adults, but it exists against young people. I'm starting to hear the term youngism. This means that despite the young life stage being viewed more favorably than the later life stage, younger adults are often assigned unfavorable terms and stereotypes due to generational differences. They're coddled, disrespectful, lazy, unkind, moody, dramatic, and self-centered. These stereotypes are damaging for young people who are simply trying to exist in a fast-changing world in which they have little or no control. For older adults, ageism is a stubborn prejudice. Some call it the last socially acceptable prejudice. People of all ages show bias against older adults, and older adults show prejudice against themselves. Self-directed ageism presents as self-doubt. I'm too old to learn this new technology. I'm too old to make new friends. And negative perceptions of one's aging, which impact their mental health. Ableism is the discrimination of and social prejudice against people with disabilities based on the belief that typical abilities are superior. As a result of ableism, studies have shown that people with disabilities are 3 times more likely to experience depression and higher levels of anxiety than non-disabled adults and people in general. What is this complex intermingling of aging and disability? We know that words and labels make a big difference in our lives. Labeling a person equates that person with a condition that can be disrespectful and dehumanizing. We can experience discomfort with the words disability, impairment, handicap. People who are aging don't often think of themselves as having a disability. I quote the following from the Americans with Disabilities Act. A person with a disability is a person who has a physical or mental impairment that substantially limits one or major life activities. This includes people who have a record of such an impairment, even if they don't currently have a disability. It also includes individuals who do not have a disability but are regarded as having a disability. There is a difference in aging with disability and aging into disability. Disability, we know, is a functional limitation defined by the reported level of difficulty. No difficulty, some difficulty, a lot of difficulty, or unable to do. When my general practitioner asks me these questions, I do hedge on my answers. You can be born with a disability such as autism, intellectual disability, cerebral palsy, deafness, or blindness, while an acquired disability is the result of an accident or illness. Both congenital and acquired disability can be apparent or non-apparent. I am part of this reality. More than 30% of the population over age 65 have some kind of a disability, and over 50% of those over the age of 75 have one. Under the ADA, it isn't the cause of the disability that matters, what it means in everyday life and how it affects your activities of daily living. Adding to that statistic, 85% of Americans over 65 have at least one chronic health issue. 60% have two, usually in the big four: cardiovascular disease, cancer, chronic respiratory disease, and diabetes. Handicap just refers to a disadvantage in filling a role in life relative to a peer group activity. It's the inability to accomplish something you want to do that most others around you are able to accomplish. For example, reading, walking, catching a ball, mowing the lawn, or communicating. Disability and handicap do not mean the same thing. Think of Stevie Wonder. Does he have a disability? Yes, he's blind. Does he have a handicap? No. He does need a personal assistant and other modifications and accommodations. Research has indicated that older adults who engage in mindfulness techniques such as meditation, qigong, yoga, and gratefulness practice improve their cognitive function, general mood, and reduce difficult emotional states like loneliness, depression, anxiety, and stress. These practices of mindfulness help us become more aware of our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, which can lead to improved self-esteem, as well as increased ability to recognize and respond appropriately to stressful situations and triggers that may have previously caused anxiety or depression. So dance, write poetry, listen to music, call friends, join a chalice circle, go to one of our 3 weekly mindfulness activities here at church, join the Green Team, Habitat for Humanity, the Short Story and/or book group, become a parish friend, add your name to the email list to receive AIM information. If you're already in one of these groups, join another. In the previous mentioned conversation I had with Joanne Kincaid about how we are all interconnected and need mindfulness practices to assist in change and transition and navigating aging with a disability or aging into a disability. She said, as part of our FRS mission statement, we are asked to come as we are. She added that she feels we should also be asked to come, be as you are. Come, be as you are. Sharon Salzberg reminds us, be yourself as much as anybody in the entire universe. Deserve your love and affection. Be gentle with yourself. Give yourself grace in hard times, and know it's okay to mess up. Respect your feelings and needs, validate your emotions, and know that you are enough. I invite you to join the Accessibility and Inclusion Ministry for Justice Sunday on October 15th, after our service in the lower level. You will be able to join through Zoom. Thank you, Justin. It will be powerful to listen to each other's journeys through change, mindfulness practices, and opinions about the complications that result from ableism and ageism. We have so much insight and wisdom to share with each other. Thank you again for being a kind and loving community. Please rise in body or spirit and join in singing our closing hymn, number 298, Wake Now My Senses.
Wake now my senses.
Please remain standing and join in saying our unison benediction as Doug extinguishes the chalice. The words can be found in your order of service. May the love which overcomes all differences, which heals all wounds, which puts to flight all fears, which reconciles all who are separated, be in us and among us now and always. I offer you a final blessing by John O'Donohue called For Presence. Awaken to the mystery of being here and enter the quiet immensity of your own presence. Have joy and peace in your senses. Receive encouragement when new frontiers beckon. Respond to the call of your gift and the courage to follow its path. Let the flame of anger free you from all falsity. May warmth of heart keep your presence aflame. May anxiety never linger about you. May your outer dignity mirror an inner dignity of your soul. Take time to celebrate the quiet miracles that seek no attention. Be consoled in the secret symmetry of your soul. May you experience each day as a sacred gift woven around the heart of wonder. I bid you go with peace, joy, and love. God bless you all, and I'll see you downstairs. Excuse me, I shouldn't have said God. May Great Spirit, for Unitarians, may Great Spirit wish you peace, joy, and love. Amen. So it be. See you for the Passion Action Fair.